universe luck. He was their only son. One day he met with an accident, and no amount of prestige, wealth, or medical expertise could save him. The best hospitals, well-known doctors, certified medicines, none of it worked. He spent almost 3 months in the ICU, but his heart never revived. In the end, his parents decided to liberate his soul from his broken body. Even after the funeral rites were completed, the family and friends remained in deep trauma. On the 28th day after his death, his close friend bought back the motorcycle he had been riding on that tragic day. The insurance company had repaired the bike and returned it to the family. Strangely, it didn't need much maintenance. His father was furious at the sight of it, but he calmed himself and asked his son's friend to get rid of the bike. His mother, however, begged him to keep it, saying it had been their son's favorite. But the father was firm. He wanted it gone, believing it to be the reason for his son's death. With a heavy heart, the friend took the bike to a vendor who dealt in used vehicles. He briefly explained the story, though it wasn't really necessary. When the vendor paid him a fair amount, he took the money to the boy's mother. She asked him to donate it to the needy in her son's name, and he did exactly that. The vendor, meanwhile, was pleased with the deal. He had paid much less than the bike's true worth. After some cleaning and a few attractive modifications, the bike looked better than ever. He expected to make a good profit. A few days later, some customers arrived. One of them particularly liked the bike. As the vendor was describing its features, he casually mentioned that the previous owner had died in an accident. Realizing his mistake, he quickly tried to laugh it off as a joke, but the customer took it seriously and lost interest. The vendor regretted his slip of the tongue. Later, another customer came to see the same bike. This time, the vendor was extra careful. He finalized the deal, and everything seemed perfect. While the paperwork was being done, he offered the customer a cup of tea. When the tea boy brought it over, he asked innocently, "Is this the man who's buying that bike?" Both the vendor and the customer froze. The vendor tried to brush it off, saying, "Kids often say silly things," but the customer grew suspicious. "Why did he mention that bike specifically?" he asked. The vendor reassured him, but the man's doubts lingered. Eventually, he asked if the bike had ever been in an accident. The vendor hesitated, then admitted softly, "Nothing serious. It's been repaired perfectly." But when the customer asked about the rider, the vendor had no choice but to tell the truth. The deal collapsed instantly. That day, the vendor chased the tea boy in frustration. A few days later, another buyer showed interest. Determined to sell it this time, the vendor even agreed to lower the price. The man took the bike for a test ride, but soon returned, pale and silent. Without saying a word, he parked the bike and left. Later, the vendor learned that traffic police had stopped the man and asked for the documents. When he mentioned the bike's history, an officer told him, "This is the same bike its owner died on." The customer, terrified, had rushed straight back to return it. Time passed, and while the vendor sold many other bikes easily, this one remained unsold. Every time someone showed interest, something strange would happen. The truth would somehow come out, and the customer would disappear. Oddly, the vendor noticed that whenever buyers chose other bikes instead, the deals closed faster and with more profit than usual. Then came the worst incident. One day, the vendor was about to sell the bike at almost no profit, just to get rid of it. As he was finalizing the sale, a news channel on the TV behind him began replaying the accident story, showing that same bike. The deal was ruined again. From that day onward, the city began whispering about the ghost bike. People said it carried the spirit of its dead owner. Rumors spread, stories grew, but so did the vendor's fame. Over time, the unsellable bike became a kind of showpiece in his shop. People came not just to buy bikes, but to see the unfortunate one. His business flourished beyond his imagination. There was some truth and plenty of rumors, but one thing was certain: the bike changed his life. No matter how unlucky a vehicle from a fatal accident may seem, this one brought him unexpected fortune, not by being sold, but by never letting itself be sold, until it finally brought luck. Thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more stories.